Hi, I'm Chris Ashworth, Programme Director at Nominet Trust, the UK's only dedicated Tech for Good funder. Welcome to our how-to video for the NT Canvas. Firstly, some background onto why we've developed the NT Canvas. Taking inspiration from the Lean Canvas, the NT Canvas specifically focuses on the social business model as opposed to a business startup. A canvas is a single-page template that both describes the key building blocks of a new venture and how these relate to one another. It aims to assist ventures by bringing focus to areas in your plan that may need additional attention. The NT Canvas has 9 interrelated boxes to complete. You might be at the stage where you can confidently populate them all, but in many cases there may be areas that are still being thought through or haven't been factored in at all. So let's begin walking through the NT Canvas step by step. To assist you, we've come up with an idea for a social tech solution that we'll use to explain how to go about completing your own canvas. So let's look at the first box. This is your definition of the social challenge. We want you to articulate the social problem your project is concerned with addressing. It might be that a particular group of people have needs that are unmet, or that people lack access to something that could significantly improve their well-being. In our example, the social challenge we have identified is that children's colds can quickly turn serious. They can turn into a chest infection or pneumonia, but they are hard to diagnose at home, and the health services are overstretched. As you can see, we've been able to state that problem simply and clearly. The second box, solution, describes the way in which that social challenge could be resolved. For our example, it is a remote diagnosis tool so that the key measures are quickly and easily validated. The important point is to ensure box 1 and 2 are coherent. So now we have a direct relationship on the canvas between the social challenge and a possible solution. Can a social tech product be the answer to that relationship? This moves us on to the third box, value generation. Here the canvas allows you to describe what the product or service actually is, and then detail the 2 most important values a social business must satisfy: the value it has to society and the value it has to the user. In our example, the product is a smartphone app that measures an individual's health data. In simple terms, we've stated what it is. Its social value, the thing it provides in relation to the social challenge, is that it provides early and accurate remote diagnosis of a child's health. This allows for both speedy and appropriate referral to emergency services. This leads to improved health outcomes and reduced stress for parents. The user value is a reduction in the referral of non-urgent cases, leading to reduced pressure on emergency services. This results in cost savings, integration with existing services, and finally peace of mind for the parents. Now we move on to box 4, differentiators, where we further explore the values you list in box 3 to see if they provide greater value than the solutions that exist in the marketplace. So here the emphasis is on additionality, exploring whether you might be creating something that has the edge over existing tools, products and the like. On other canvases you'll see terms such as unique selling point, or on the Lean Canvas, the unfair advantage. The NT Canvas looks at 2 areas. The first, related to social value, is sustainable social impact. What social impact will your idea have that is better than what currently exists? If it's better than something presently available, it is more likely to be sustainable. In our example, the sustainable social impact is more accurate remote diagnosis, leading to more timely treatment, better health outcomes, and increased NHS savings. The second differentiator is in relation to the competitive advantage. Not every product or service can be totally unique, so we don't advocate that. But what we do want to see is the thing that gives you the edge commercially. In our example, we've been able to make that up, but have described that as first mover advantage, or that we are the first to market such an application. That it is integrated into existing NHS services, and we have an NHS trust waiting to trial. For you, there will be a number of others that make sense as to why you have a competitive differentiator. It might be the ability to make the product cheaper, or that it is significantly better for the user than any existing offer. Next, we move on to boxes 5 and 6, the market or markets you are trying to reach, and the channels you will use to get there. This is where you may want to create multiple canvases for your venture, one for each market segment. However, for the purposes of this guide, we will concentrate on just one. Crucially, in box 5, markets, we draw a potential distinction between the user and the purchaser. It may well be that there are just one in the same, in which case just describe them as such. But in many circumstances, we've noticed that a social venture often has a different user to the one paying for the product. As our example demonstrates, the users might be the parents and carers who will physically use the application to make an assessment of the child's symptoms. But the application has been underwritten by the NHS to provide it free on the App Store to parents across the UK. Whichever option is most relevant, remember to outline the key common characteristics of those within your market. What makes them a segment? For consumers, is it geography or demographics? Is it a particular life stage, or is your segment based around attitudes or behaviours? For business, is it its location, its size, or the industry type? In box 6, channels, we again separate out how you will get the product marketed to the users as distinct from the purchasers. Here it's clear that in the case of large enterprises, it's often through business development or strategic sales that you will succeed, whereas the end product is going to be marketed through consumer-led channels, such as the App Store or social media, the channels your segment are likely to consume or respond to. In our example, we state that users might be targeted through children's centres, GP surgeries and social media, whilst the purchase is negotiated with NHS England, either through the Community Foundation Trust Network or through events such as the Health and Care Innovation Expo. Already, there are clear distinctions in the skills and capabilities your venture will need support with. Digital and marketing skills for the user segment, and possibly field sales experience for the business-to-business purchaser. As you now reach box 7 of the NT Canvas, you should have started to tease out some of the fundamental aspects of your overall idea. You'll be aware that in doing so, you've made a number of assumptions along the way. Here is a good opportunity to describe the main assumptions or hypothesis your venture is built around. It's a vital part of the jigsaw that needs validating as you grow and develop. In our example, we state that the application is going to be trusted by parents, because without that trust, it won't be adopted. We also state that the data collection is accurate. The tech can be integrated into existing services, and it is possible to prove the return on investment to the NHS. All challenges that at some point in our development will need to be addressed. Now to inputs. This box briefly outlines the resources you have or expect to bring your idea to life. It needs to highlight not only the possible capital, but the types of capital, loans, grants, your own money, but also the other resources, the people working on the venture and the ones you might hire, the partnerships already supporting you, or communities you're involved with. For Nominet Trust applications, we are very keen to see you have in-house tech expertise rather than outsourcing it. In our example, we list inputs under staff, funding, and partnerships. And finally, revenue. Here we want to understand how you can demonstrate the third of our key values, financial value. In our example, we have stated that we will demonstrate the return on investment to healthcare commissioners, secure CE certification for our application, expand NHS partners, test the price point with both parents and NHS, whether that could be a free download or a paid-for app. The key point is to ensure you can find and demonstrate evidence that your venture will create financial value for itself and therefore be inherently sustainable. So now you've come to the end. You've populated your first version of the NT Canvas. As we stated at the start, this is a dynamic tool and one that is very likely to change and adapt over time. Take a step back and maybe share the canvas with colleagues or people you know outside of the venture to stress test the core aspects and make constructive, critical inquiries about it. Revisit it periodically and use it to ensure you keep a close eye on aspects you hadn't given as much attention to before. See how it develops over time, and please give us any feedback on how you think the NT Canvas could be improved to help other ventures like yours succeed. For more detailed information on the NT Canvas, our 3 values and our theory of change, visit our website at nominettrust.org.uk. Thanks for watching and all the best with your social tech venture.